let's jump into one of our email questions that just came in. It's from Paul.
That's from Wesley.
Yeah, Wesley, I'm sorry. I broke my arm in a wreck. I have health insurance. I've had surgery and physical therapy. With a case like this, where I only have 15,000 medical bills, am I just throwing away money by talking to a lawyer? Wesley, that's a great question, because that opens up a lot of thought, I guess, you know. Number one is, yes, you should hire an attorney, because, you know, we work on a contingency fee basis, which means, you know, if we can't do anything for you, Wesley, you don't owe us anything, but you're always safer to have somebody advocating for you, because trust me, the insurance companies have somebody advocating for them. And so my quick response would be absolutely retain an attorney, give us a call, we'll be glad to help you. But Les, there's a lot more into it for someone just thinking they've got a small $15,000 case.
Well, number one, you're not throwing your money away, because as Chris said, we work on a contingency fee basis, meaning we don't charge you anything unless we're successful in making a recovery. And it's got to be a recovery that you're comfortable with taking after you've been fully advised of what all the issues are. Now, there are some cases, and they're pretty rare, where people come in and, you know, the insurance company may have gotten to them already and said, hey, look, this is all we have, and this is what we look at it and we go, listen, this isn't ideal, but they've already offered you this money. You ought to go ahead and take it. You don't need me to charge you for that, unless there's some other nuances. Now, even in cases like that, we still can add a lot of value, especially with people that are on Medicare, TRICARE, health insurance. There's a lot of pitfalls out there that if you settle your case alone, a lawyer can really come in handy to keep you out of some trouble later on down the road. But just going in and talking to a lawyer is not going to cost you a thing. And statistically,
they talk to us.
Right. Well, yeah, it's not going to cost you a thing to talk to us about your case, and we'll tell you what we think. And if we think we can do better than what the insurance company is offering, which 99% of the time we can, even statistically, they say, you know, getting a lawyer, you're looking at a recovery 3 to 5 times more than what you would get if you advocated for yourself. And so when you factor in the contingency fee, even paying a contingency fee, you're still coming out ahead of the game, and you're given the peace of mind that I'm not going to impair somebody's lien. I'm not going to run afoul of Medicare. I'm not going to get a nasty grant from TRICARE saying, you didn't take my interest into account, and now you got to pay me back a bunch of money for some bills that we paid. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, because we handle it for you.
Let's jump into that just for a quick second before we go into our break. Taking care of someone's lien. I mean, that is, I think, well, we know so. People do not really understand what that means. They don't understand this fancy legal term called subrogation, right? But when you receive any type of benefits from your health insurance, and it's as a result of an accident that somebody else has caused, they have a lien against your case. And you have to satisfy that lien upon settling your case. And sometimes a lot of people, they settle their case for not even enough money to satisfy the lien. And that's where you can kind of get in a lot of trouble.
And those are the people that call us up and they say, well, I got a call from the adjuster and they're offering me $3,000. And, you know, I think I'm okay. And I think I might want to take that.
But I went to the ER.
But I went to the ER and like, okay, well, you know, what do they do at the ER? Well, they did a couple of CT scans. Okay, well, you have health insurance? Yeah, all right. Or no, I don't. Okay. And then they say, well, I think I want to take it. They take the money. And then they realize that the personal injury protection coverage on their auto policy only pays 80% of that bill. There's 20% that's not paid.
And they had an ambulance ride.
They had an ambulance ride. They saw an ER doctor. They got to pay this radiologist. I mean, they walked out with 2 CT scans, and their hospital bill is 20 grand. PIP benefit covers 10, all right, and it only covers 80%. And so now you're like, well, I settled for 3 grand last month, but now that everything's been processed, now I've got this bill from the hospital for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
And the insurance company's not.
And you have no recourse.
Nope.
You have no recourse whatsoever. And so people get a little antsy. You know, we've said it before, you know, people, like, who's your biggest competitor? You know, I will say this about, you know, a lot of the personal injury firms and lawyers, we're friends and we're colleagues. I mean, we kind of take this rising tide lifts all ships approach on the personal injury side of things. But you know, our biggest competitor is the insurance adjuster, because they're the ones that are out there waving this money in front of you and saying, hey, I can give you this, I can give you this. And they'll never tell you what's required. They'll never tell you what you're releasing. They'll never tell you, hey, don't worry about those bills. You know, I mean, well, they may say that. But they're never going to tell you the full story, and it's only going to be after the fact that you signed everything that you're like, I'm screwed.
And just to be clear, there's some great insurance adjusters out there that are even local. And we know them, they're friends. There's some great insurance agents out there too. So this is not slighted at them.
No.
But the model of the insurance company is to make money and to pay the claims out as cheap as possible. And typically when you're talking to someone who's in Houston or someone who's in Orlando or Atlanta, they have an objective. They don't work for you. They work for their insurance company who writes their checks for them.
And they've got a script.
And so they've got a script. They're very talented at what they do. And so we always just take the adage, why not have somebody advocating for you? Because trust me, they've got a team of lawyers and they've got teams upon teams helping them make decisions that's in their best interest, not your best interest.
I'm glad you brought that up about the agent stuff. If you get in a wreck, whether it's your fault or not your fault, you should absolutely contact your agent. And hopefully you have a local agent that knows the community, knows you, and knows what your risk tolerance is and can help guide you through the process. There's a good local insurance agent is invaluable. Right. We have some local adjusters that live in the community, know the community. Those aren't the ones we really have difficulties with because, I mean, they're our neighbors. I mean, they're people we work with. I mean, we're on different sides of the V, but they're generally good people. It's the call center people, the faceless, nameless people that you don't know that are out there going, hey, I can take care of you and everything will be cool, and then it's not.
And they don't tell you the truth.
And they don't.